Hello and welcome back to Joe Shoots Film. Today's video is about the Halina 3000. I found this Halina 3000 in a charity shop near where I live, listed for £6 whole, complete with a case and label saying not tested. A quick point to the light, a crank of the lever and release of the shutter, I identified it was at least exposing an image. So I bought it and hoped for the best. Released in 1974 alongside the 2000 model, in the UK's Argos it was listed at £20.35 with an Argos special price of £12.95, which in modern standards is about £229 and £123 respectively. It is a 35mm f2.8 45mm lens, bright line viewfinder camera, with shutter speeds from 1/30th to 1/250th of a second. It has a hot shoe, flash contact and a carry case when bought originally. So we'll start off with how to load and wind the camera back up. So to load it, you get the turning knob, give it a pull up and it should just slightly pop it open like that. And there you have the insides of the camera. You get your film, pop it in the left hand side, bring it across as normal, feed it through the small gap by there, pop that down, and from there you can start progressing with the little lever by there until your film progresses as well, and then pop it shut. When you are all done, all you have to do is hold down this big button at the bottom, get that lever and spin it as you would on any other normal film camera. For this little shoot I used Kentamir 400, which was a cheap film from Amazon, as I didn't mind if it didn't work if I ruined that film. I developed it with Cinestill D96 monobath, the reusable stuff, and then post-processing I scanned using my Plustek Optic Film 7300 and then put it into Negative Lab Pro on Lightroom Classic. So here are a few images that I have taken with it. And more so, the mess ups. So onto the pros and cons of this little camera. We'll start with the pros. £6, a great price in modern standard for a film camera. The settings along the top, even though it is quite tough to turn, they are actually quite easy to set and quite clear when you have the numbers along the bottom. However, the little arrow is slightly worn away, but that will just be due to the age of the camera itself. It's fun to use. It's not a professional camera, obviously, as it's just a cheap camera that I found. Very, like I said, simple, easy to use controls on the actual thing itself. In no way a professional camera. It is nice and easy to load up like I showed. Just popping that part open. I say it's nice and easy. There we go. Some cameras I have, it can be a bit of a nightmare to actually pop it open. You have to squeeze, pull, push, whatever. And actually, when you're using it, the lever is in a nice place. So when you are using it, if you want to do a few at a time, you don't have to go fumbling around looking for it. Another pro is don't need a battery. Don't need to go finding some random batteries on eBay or Amazon that haven't existed for years. It's fully mechanical. Even the light meter on the top uses the sensor in the camera itself. Now on to the cons. Even though for that original price back in the day, it does feel quite cheap. It's mostly made of plastic. I've actually only just noticed right now as I'm doing this, there's a gap. It is popping up by there, so it might not even be light tight anymore. The back, plasticky, although the top is metal, but the rest of it is plastic, as well as that lens being a mixture of plastic and metal. The lens itself, I think, is plastic as well. No glass. I think that's what accounts for the haziness of the images on the camera. The ISO bit just under the lens by there is called ASA back in the day, and that could be quite awkward because it's a tiny little knob poking out that you've got to get your nail into to change it. That could be quite annoying to change, but that's obviously to account for the light meter. It's also, like I said, about being able to pull that whilst it's up to your face. It is also a weird shape. It isn't very ergonomic, you know. It's when my fingers by there, it is slightly covering the viewfinder. It's just a weird feel in the hands. I guess they tried to put a lot of tech into a small bit of kit. The rest could be the camera itself, because obviously it's getting on a bit now rather than the model. But I found that the meter on the top didn't actually work, even though as I'm doing this now it is moving very slightly. But there is a thing on the top by there, which when you point it at the light, it does change for you to change your settings. I was also unsure on quite how it worked, because there's some sort of ratio of light to aperture to shutter speed ratio that, if you can see just by there, there's a little slot and little numbers appear, and I think that they correspond with the numbers you see on the light meter. Not a clue though. So a copy of the original instructions, although they probably are online, would be good. Another problem I experienced with it was actually that the negatives did come out scratched along the top of the negative all the way along. So whether there's a bit of dust or a sharp bit of metal poking out inside the camera itself, that happened. Sometimes along the ridge by there. I'm assuming that is what's caught on the film itself, and it has scratched it along the entire roll. I did put it through Photoshop and just magic tooled it out, so yeah. I did find a lot of the images were underexposed as well, but that could be me. Probably is more likely me, but it might be a problem with the shutter and the aperture not quite on time. I probably won't check that though, because I don't think I'm going to be using this again. So for my recommendations for the camera, well, first recommendation is nice bright lit areas, because it did not perform very well in dark lit, and with that aperture of 2.8 I could probably see why. Always remember to set that focus ring on the outside before going and taking your shot, as many a time I did forget to set that and they came out of focus and blurry. Definitely clue yourself up on that meter system that I was on about on the top of the camera, because well, I obviously didn't. It could have come out. The exposure might have been a bit better if I didn't. If I did rather know what I was doing. Use cheap film like I did, just in case it goes wrong. If you're finding these in charity shops, you never know. Might totally not work. And like I said, I think this is going to be more of a thing to go on the shelf. I don't think I'll use this again, just because I didn't really get along with it. It took me forever to get out through the roll. The first image I saw on there was a Christmas tree, and I developed it in like March. So yeah. Other than that, thank you very much for tuning in to this little review that we've done here. I've made myself more of like a script sort of thing to go off now, or like a template I should say, so hopefully these sort of videos will be a bit more in order, although I do, as I am now, ramble on a bit too much and go off script, but there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.